Our enterprise is a part of a large production association in Arkhangelsk, which is engaged in the production of medicines. We use various pharmaceutical equipment that meets the requirements and standards of GMP for production, a unit for dehydration of aqueous solutions, and extracts in a fluidized bed apparatus, rotary tablet machines, an automatic line for packaging tablets into plastic film, and foil and other high-tech machines and apparatuses. At the beginning of last year, we received a large order to supply cough medicine. We signed a contract for 2 years. The drug was to be supplied in 100 milliliters plastic containers. Implementing the order at our enterprise was impossible without buying new equipment. We decided to buy new automatic equipment for bottling and capping with a capacity of 15,000 bottles per shift. It had to provide automatic feeding and filling of antiseptic into plastic bottles of 100 milliliters. The capper is used to automatically feed bottles and closes the neck of the bottle with rubber stoppers and aluminum caps, as well as screw caps. We planned to use white plastic caps as the capping element. The material of the equipment had to be durable and hard-wearing. In case of production necessity, we planned to repurpose equipment for 1-liter glucose vials. This criterion had to be taken into account when purchasing bottling and capping equipment. I have been working at our company for 10 years as a chief engineer, and I am used to doing my job well and working only with specialists. I took the choice of a filling machine very seriously. I didn't look for equipment on the internet, because very often a pretty picture hides unprofessionalism. I visited the International Exhibition of Equipment, Raw Materials and Technologies for Pharmaceutical Production, which was held in Moscow. There were many bottling machines on display, companies from all over the world. I chose the 3 most suitable for my requirements, and took contacts from the representatives. It was necessary to agree the selected automatic equipment with the management, and then sign a contract for the supply. Having returned back to the company, I started contacting the representatives of the equipment manufacturers by phone. A company from Germany agreed to supply bottling equipment, but asked me to come and sign the contract in person. Unfortunately, I could not travel to the EU, as I did not have a visa, and the visa process would have taken at least 3 months. One company from China sent me a catalog of products in the mail. I chose for a long time, but I could not figure out whether the equipment can fill bottles of plastic, with the allowable volume of bottles. A third manufacturer from Krasnodar listened to me and replied that he could make the equipment only 6 months, citing the large volume of orders. I had to refuse, since I needed the machine in the shortest possible time. The contract for the supply of antiseptic had already been signed, and we could not wait so long for automatic equipment for bottling and capping. A machine had to be found, and I realized that I couldn't do it myself. This made me a little less confident. Here, however, I was helped by the manager of company in Krasnodar, who advised me a specialist in the supply of pharmaceutical equipment, which would be able to find another option of equipment. Following his advice, I contacted a specialist intermediary of a Russian company. At that time I had no idea that I was doing the right thing. The manager of the company in Moscow listened to me, asked a few questions on the material of bottles, the required productivity, the error tolerance of dosing equipment. I was pleased with his professional and business-like approach. After a preliminary consultation, he suggested 2 options for filling equipment, which differed in the boundaries of the dosage and performance. Before justifying the machine, the specialist sent a video of our equipment. The system feeds empty plastic bottles by the piece onto a conveyor belt, which moves the bottles to a bottling unit. The machine fills 6 vials at a time. Optical sensors monitor the availability of the vials. From the storage bins, a screw conveyor transports the caps to the cap stations, where they are then sealed. The screwing of each cap is performed by a rotating head.